Starting the recording. Hey everyone, this is Ootinicast episode 400. Ootinicast episode 400. Ootinicast episode 400. Ootinicast. That was working. And yeah, this is episode 463 being recorded on April 25th of 2023. We are let's see, this is the raw version of the show, which goes out with all the flubs and errors intact, and the raw version of the video will go out on YouTube later, and then we will clean up the audio a bit and put that out as a podcast tomorrow. Okay. So let's see. Let me go ahead and let people know that we're streaming. And yeah, 463.
463. Alrighty.
Oh, hang on a sec. That did not work. There we go. There we are. All right. Go ahead and do a retweet too, since we're here just ahead at the top of the hour. Yeah. So IK's here and Kitty Treats is here, I see. Cool. So yeah. So are you feeling better today, Kitty?
Yeah.
Good.
It just I was tanked. I was pooped out.
It sounded like. Yeah.
Retweet.
Let's see. Let me make sure I've got everything here. All right. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, we got another minute. We'll wait till the top of the hour, just so we're not starting too early. So, yeah.
Cool. How's things?
Things are going okay. Yeah, my wife and her son, my stepson, went to see her other son graduate from Navy boot camp. So they went to Chicago. Shit. Yeah, it's happened in Chicago. So they flew over to Chicago for a few days and did that, but they're both back now. So yeah, they were there. I mean, yeah, they weren't there too long, but they got to see him a little bit, and she took him to Six Flags for a day, and and he's like, he's off again. So they're going to train him in some sort of, they're going to train him to become an electrician of some sort. And then he'll either, he'll either be on a ship, or he'll be possibly like at a power plant or something like that as well.
That's awesome. He's going to have a skill when he gets out.
Yeah, definitely one of the better things you could learn in the Navy, I would say, for sure.
Getting paid
in terms of
skills
that would reflect well, in non-military civilian life, exactly. But yeah, okay, I think we're hitting the top of the hour here. Let's go ahead and get going. I'm going to start, have a little more water, and then we'll get going. Oh yeah, and I'm not drinking out of the glasses anymore. I have all these glass jars because we're distilling our water now. So.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, we got a little note from not every Gemma actually looked, and apparently in Portland they don't test for this, but they do test for it in Vancouver. And one of the they found a slightly high level of I can't remember the name of it, but it's that one plastic that just sort of sticks around. It, like they call them forever chemicals sometimes.
Oh.
And it's not a high amount. Like it's still in the parts per billion or trillion or whatever it is, but it was higher than like a recommended amount. And we were like, you know what? And then we looked up it, and it's like, yeah, Brita doesn't do anything for that. And which we were using Brita before. So it's like, you know what? Let's just get a distiller and start distilling the water. So we're doing that now.
Done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check for that now.
Yeah, I don't know if they test for it. I don't know, because Gemma actually did look and couldn't find testing for Portland. So I'm not sure. Yeah, it's funny. I don't really mind the difference. Like some people say, like if once you take everything out of it, it sort of like tastes too flat or whatever. But I hardly notice a difference. It's just fine to me. Yeah. All right. I think I'm good to go now.
All right. Ready
Going
when
in
you
5.
are.
Thank you. Going in 5. Hi, and welcome to the Ootinicast, the podcast that is too young to take the creed. This is episode 463, being recorded on Tuesday, April 25th, 2023. I'm your host, Chill, and with me is my co-host, KittyKissz. Hey, Kitty.
Hey, Chill. How's it going?
Going good. What have you been up to since the last show?
Well, we
Actually,
finished.
can you turn down your volume a little bit more? You're still fuzzing out a little bit when you start talking loud like that.
How's that? Better?
Well, just talk louder, but turn it down maybe a little bit.
Hello. Hello.
That's a little better. Yeah, go for it. All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, we finished The Mandalorian, and that
Nice.
was really wonderful.
Yeah.
I like the way it wrapped up.
Got
And I'm already ready for the next one.
Took the quote from it.
Yeah. I know that's what I didn't write it in the notes, but I just remembered it as soon as you said it. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Yes. Let's see. I finished my Wretch Kitty story finally.
Okay.
And when that was done, I noticed that my reputation cap is almost maxed.
Oh, nice.
For runic,
Yeah.
which
Always feels good.
Yeah, I really kind of when that came out, I hit it pretty hard, and then I went no, there's no rush to hit it, just take your time, and I did the math, and evidently there's no way I can get to the rep cap. Even if I finish, I get maximum amount of reputation points. So,
okay.
Just kind of enjoying it.
Yeah, so it's going to be you have to wait till the next weekly reset. Yeah, okay.
Because I was going to go, you know what? This is gonna happen. But and I'm like, screw it. I'll just go slow, have fun, and that kind of thing. So
Nice.
Which is really cool about that plan is you get a lot of different decos. And that's something that I think I really like to see in the game because, a lot of times I'll play a stealther, especially if I'm doing dailies, but I'll just go ahead and kill everything regardless because you never know when you're going to get a cool deco or, you never know what you're going to get on a drop. So
yeah, there's quite a few of them.
Yeah. And it's really, I would like to see that implemented in like everywhere in the game. I think that would be a cool incentive to, have people that are at the end game still want to do the bonuses and stuff like that because, you could get some cool drops. So I started playing my What We Do in the Shadow cosplay tune.
Oh, okay,
Jackie
cool.
Daytona.
Nice.
He's a human bartender, just a regular human bartender. He's not a vampire. And I'm playing through as an operative, checking out the story, and I'm romancing Cleo this time.
Very nice.
And I usually don't like Cleo. But it's not that I don't like her. I think that Tasia does an awesome job as the actor,
right.
But the character just grinds my gears. Just, drives me crazy. But I'm going to go full on romance with her and see what happens. Maybe,
Nice.
Every once in a while I'll do a romance with the character and then realize, oh, wait, you know what? I kind of like this companion. So
a lot better.
Opens my eyes a little bit. And, but we'll see.
That's how it was
Last time
for
I
me.
did it, I was like, no.
Right. For me, that's how it was with Akavi. Like, I always say that about Akavi.
Okay.
Like,
Right.
her regular story didn't do much for me, but once you do the romance arc, you see there's a lot more personal stuff that kind of comes up that you never see in her regular arc.
Because I remember... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. It'll be interesting to see if that happens for you, is all I was going to say.
The last time I romanced Cleo, I was just like, screw that. I'm never doing that again. But here we are. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I hit level 39 on Galactic Seasons. And
nice.
Last week I was just really busy and I ended up slacking. And then what was it? Monday was the last day for, before the server reset.
Right.
and I had a bunch of stuff that I wanted to do in order to get the maximum amount of blah blah blah.
Right.
I didn't, and then
okay.
it came over me that you don't need to rush.
Yeah.
We got so much time on this. Don't worry. I already got the that first version of the armor set that you can get through Galactic Seasons this season. And that's kind of what I wanted to get, just to kind of see what that's like. And I really like that outfit. I think it looks really cool. So we'll see what happens. I'm just gonna keep going. See, if I do decide to go hard, I'll go hard. But if not, whatever. But I'm having a blast. I'd love it. I have so much fun on Galactic Seasons.
Excellent.
Love it, love it, love it. And as soon as I'm done, I'll miss it and I'll regret going too fast. But whatever. Like I said, I was busy all week doing basement stuff, and I've got blisters on my hand.
Oh man.
From working in the basement, like
yeah.
Okay. Going through and getting that floor ready to paint.
Oh man.
And I realized, like, wow, I've gone soft.
That wouldn't have happened in past years.
Oh, in past, yeah. My hands were like, I could have stopped a bullet with them. But, skateboarding, you fall and your hands are always kind of,
sure.
They're really toughen up. And then being a line cook, you're basically impervious to fire and heat.
Right.
Your hands get really, really tough, but man.
Well, you still are a line cook though, right? Aren't you?
No, I'm not.
It's just because you're prep working
I'm
mostly?
back in the house now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but I just thought to myself, I'm like, I've gone soft and I like it. I think the only calluses I have on my hands are, my fingertips from playing guitar, and even those have gone kind of soft because I haven't played much. Because you
haven't been too busy for that too.
It's like I feel like I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life, and if getting blisters on my hands from working hard in the basement of the house I own is as bad as it's gonna get, life is really good.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that's what I've been up to this week. Chill.
All right.
Pass the baton on to you.
Cool. Well, let's see who we see in chat here. And also, I've noticed your camera is like freezing a fair bit. So I don't know if there's anything you can do about that on your end, but it's been happening quite a bit. Let's see. So 01 Ella's here. Elise Dre, Drapsnat, Dread Raiders here. Eflux, Lakai 500, Kata, Kitty Treats, Mikey Likes 1T, Retox Detox, Squishy Twitchy, that Tsunami Safari are all showing up here on the list. So hey everyone. And yeah, let's see. So I did decide to finish Cthulhu because she was really close to the end of her story. And so I just wanted to make sure I had seen everything as a Republic saboteur. So,
cool.
Republic side character going against the Republic. And so she's now all the way through Runic and everything else. And there's some really fun and kind of funny bits along the way, like when you're doing that interview and you flub the interview on purpose. It's pretty hilarious.
It's very cringe.
Yeah. And then it's interesting to see how they deal with like the saboteur for some of the other story bits as well. There's certain bits where it's not like really going against, if like the parts where you're going against Malgus, there's not a lot for the saboteur to do, like, because whether you're doing Empire or Republic, both sides are kind of against Malgus, so there's not the saboteur stuff doesn't really come up a lot. But then like you go to Manon or later you go to Runic, and then there is sort of at least some saboteur stuff that happens in both cases. A little less on Runic because both sides are going against, the Hedakol and the their whole Mandalorian clan thing. But there is some saboteur stuff that goes on, and it's pretty fun to see. So I really like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think I've gone that far in the saboteur.
Yeah, and I never have on the Republic side. I've done a couple. I don't do it a lot apparently because I think I've only done it twice on the Empire side, and then this was the first time in the Republic side. So
Cool.
Yeah, but yeah, it's fun to see for sure. I got the Macho Man up to Kotfi. He's ding 75, which is good because the tactical is really nice to have. Yeah, ooh yeah. So I'm thrashing my voice every time I do him, because it's like his voice is really hard to imitate without like scratching it up. Yeah, so he was mostly dark, but now that the Emperor's decided to destroy the galaxy, basically, and that's kind of removing his audience, so it's like we can't have that. So he's going a lot. He's kind of shading a lot more light side now, with a fair bit of dark mixed in still, though.
That's awesome.
And yeah, exactly. Can't have the Intercontinental Wrestling Champion without no one to watch him. So it's a lot of fun to do. That's right, and we're switching that up too because Jace's gone for so long. We're gonna romance Lana instead, and we'll see how that works out. It'll be fun to see that too. What
skin did you use for Jace? Did it look Elizabethy?
No, there's only one blonde Jace, and it's a light side one. So there's all the dark side ones are pretty much just black hair, and I think there's one that's like dark red hair or something, but nothing that's like blonde at all for what. And even on the light side, there's like one blonde, and most of them are dark hair. But yeah, so yeah, so yeah, I think I didn't end up using one for her. I just used the basic one. I did make her an outfit though that gave her sort of like the formal wear that she always seems to wear when she's with him. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah,
it's funny, the name Elizabeth always, ever since Macho Man and Elizabeth were a thing, every time I hear the name Elizabeth, I always hear it in Macho Man speak.
Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, I never put that together. Holy,
that's funny. Elizabeth. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to do though. I've got a bunch of outfits. I actually I made on my my main character or my banking character who is the synth weaver, and you can make like do-rags. There's like a do-rag look, so I made a bunch and sent them over to him. And then I have to dye them and make outfits out of them, but
nice.
That's going to be good.
A do-rag, I forgot about that.
Yeah, there's do-rags in the game. If you want that do-rag look for your character, it's doable. Yeah, it's a synth weaving thing, and I think you have to be like level 47 or 51 or something like that, so you can't do it at low level, but whatever, it's all good.
Yeah, some of those synth weaver stuff there's a couple of them that are kind of rare, like you have to actually get the
right, because you had to have gotten the drop.
Yeah, to get the drop.
Yeah
But there's some cool stuff.
Yeah, and some of those, like some of the recipes have kind of gone away. Like you can't really get them as drops anymore. Like those are, if you know which ones they are, super rare. I haven't really looked in to see like which ones I have that are actually rare. But yeah, it's
I spent an entire day off watching videos on YouTube, like documentaries and stuff, and just sending my characters off on
on different characters and crew skills.
Yeah, just trying to get those mats, not the mats, but the what are they?
Oh, hoping to get the recipes.
The recipes, yes.
Oh,
and I got so many that I didn't have, way more than I thought that there were.
Right.
So
were you buying them off the GTN as well, or just trying it?
No, people were asking way too much. I was like, screw you. I'm giving you any of my money.
That's funny. Yeah, but yeah, it's been he's a lot of fun to play. Oh, and I did a fair bit of PvP on him over the last couple of weeks, and yeah, that's really fun. There was a really good. It was Hypergate, and it was a really interesting one because it was actually it was a very close one, really. But then what happened is they had this strategy of they wanted to like fight us for our main every time, so like we had a hard time even getting it a lot of the times. And then that was happening. Then we were sort of like mid game, getting towards the end. But probably a couple rounds away, and I decided like they were still fighting it for us, and we were having a real hard time getting it because they'd really sent a lot of people over. And I noticed there was a couple of people on our team who were trying to take theirs, so they hadn't gotten theirs either. And then we did get theirs, but they were like wailing on the couple of guys. Like they started sending people back over there, and I was running over there now too. And so we had theirs and we had ours. But we needed to hold them, and so we started, and we were just brawling around the node. Like they really wanted that sucker back. And
that's awesome.
I was like using every cooldown I had. I was like the last one standing. Every cooldown I had, I'd use my enraged defense and my health pack and my health adrenal or my Warzone adrenal and whatever the Inure is called on the Empire side. I can't remember. And then as I was dying, I used my AoE jump one more time. Blam! Stopped them from casting. Died. Looked at the timer. There was 3 seconds left, and they couldn't capture it.
Yeah.
and because we had both of them held, we actually had enough points to win right there. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great.
It was a very pro wrestling moment for sure. So yeah,
those
moments.
Hilarious. Those moments in PvP are gold.
Yeah, it really is fun when that happens.
Because when you get stomped, it's not fun.
Yeah.
But if you really have to bust buns to equally, like both sides are just going head to head, and it's so much more fun.
Yeah.
Also, it's a wormhole in time.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, that was 15 minutes. Holy crap.
And it goes so fast when it's like that. Yeah, exactly. And I also, like the last couple of days, I've been just trying to get through the coffee chapter so I can get the alliance and I can actually get companions back and stuff and actually send out the normal amount of crew skills and things like that. So that's what I've been doing the last couple of days. And then, so it's been a little while since I've done PvP, but it's been kind of just, it's been very relaxing. Just okay, let's do just do these chapters and try to get there. We actually got there today. And I'm looking forward to it because we did finally ding 75. We technically dinged 76 today, like right at the end. Cool. So, but now he has the tactical, which I have the one that reduces the cooldown of your smash ability. So it's called something else in his spec, but it's basically the same idea because it's a fairly short cooldown anyway. And then every time he has a dot that ticks, it reduces the cooldown by a second. You can. If you have a dots on everyone around you, you can sometimes you can do it global, all the dots tick global. You just hit it. You just do it over and over again. Boom, 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 boom.
Holy
if you
crap,
have enough dots. Now, eventually, of course, you need to redo the dots and and all that sort of thing. But the smash is also the spreader of the dots for this spec.
Right, exactly.
So at least if someone has a dot still going, you can keep spreading it. But you can really do a lot of smashes. I'm looking forward to seeing that because I didn't have that before. And
is that a tactical?
It is for his spec. It's a tactical. Yeah, it's not one of the choices on the tree. So you have to get it at 75.
I'm going to send you a text later because I need that.
Yeah, and I think it's called Cut to Pieces. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, it's
cool.
Yeah, it's really nice because I've noticed like since I've gotten it, I've only been doing chapters, so it's not quite the same as PvP, but like in some of the other group fights, it's like dot and then spread and then like just a set, like one or two globals later, I can cast it again. It's like wow, that's really fun.
Yeah. That's really cool. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. And of course, on this spec, there's no rage cost for the smash ability, so you don't have to worry about that part of it. And it's a fairly short cooldown anyway. So like I said, it only takes a few dot ticks for it to go down to just a couple globals, and then you can do it again, which is really nice. So
excuse me while I take some notes. Chill. Cut to Pieces.
All right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. Pretty sure. There's the other one for its spec is more single target. But I think this one is going to be better for PvP for sure.
Cool. I know what I'm doing after stream.
Yeah. So that'll bring us to the tip of the week. And did you want to do yours real quick?
Yeah, mine's very, very short.
Sure.
So I found that Amity's weapon is changeable. I like the weapon that she has, but I keep
calling it a her too, but it's definitely a guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what else is weird? I think I still think of him as a Solonian or whatever. He's actually a human.
He is human, right?
Yeah, it's weird. Like
he doesn't have a tail.
He talks in Solonian, yeah,
right.
And he was raised by Solonians. That's why that's why he uses their language.
Well,
as it turns out. But it just seems very weird.
Solonians are a matriarch, so I always hear that voice, and I always hear the Solonian that you meet on Corellia.
Yeah.
And it's the same voice. So I always think female, but he is a male. But yeah, you can change his weapon because I went on there to try and put a, spruce up the weapon, put a crystal on it maybe or whatever. And then I realized, holy crap, you can put whatever weapon that is like the double-edged.
Is it like electrostaff?
Yeah, electrostaff or something, whatever that is.
Can you use double-bladed lightsabers as well, I assume?
Yeah, I didn't try the double-bladed lightsabers. I only went with the vibro weapons.
So it's probably just the electrostaff one.
But yeah, I'll give it a try. Maybe it'll work.
There's some fun ones in the game, yeah.
And before, when I was writing this, I was actually going to check, but I got lazy and didn't. I'm not sure if any of the other weapons will work. For instance, like a one-handed vibro sword or whatever.
Right.
Just try it out and see if it works. But
okay.
Yeah. So I gave him the giant, what I call the double-handed crimping iron with with lightning on it, and it looks really cool.
That is cool. Very nice. Yeah, I got to the first modification for him, and I like the colors better, so I'm using that one. It's like kind of blue and green sort of looking colors instead of like the neutrals, which I liked. So yeah. We also got a tip from 24, and 24 fan lover wrote, "Hey Chills, 24 fan lover. Not sure this has been spoken of, but if you click on the tab to learn a new combat style and click escape and exit, you will land on the fleet. And you can do this at level 1, and then you could do a little leveling up and learn the crew skills at level 1. Amazing. I did not know this. So yes, if you're a sub, which means you can get a second combat style because it's a little mission, what you do is you start the mission and then exit as soon as basically it loads, because there's like a loading screen that it gives in. You just kind of exit as soon as you're done with the loading screen, and it will dump you out on the fleet. And awesome. Yeah, if you've got an XP boost and you're a sub, and then you talk to the crew skill trainers for the Codex XP,
that's right.
You grab the crew skill mission, turn that one in. You do that, you're basically right at level 5. So you can get like the first 5 levels really fast that way. Plus you actually start with the crew skills. Not a ton of that on the starter planets. Like there's basically no nodes for the crew skills on the starter planets for the most part.
Get kills,
yeah. But you can send people out on crew skills, and stuff like that if you want to, and kind of get a little bit of a head start on that. So nice. Yeah, there you go. So thank you, 24. Appreciate that.
Hey, 24.
That's really cool. And I had no idea because they're usually very careful. Like even if you you can go to your stronghold, but you can't even exit from that stronghold to the planet. So you can't.
No,
you
not anymore.
Yeah, you can't go to Nar Shaddaa and get XP for like going to the promenade and unlocking the promenade, for example, at level 1. The way and they're really very careful not to make a lot of ways for you to go other planets other than the starter planet. So this is kind of an interesting way.
That's cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Do it before they switch it. I'm sure they're gonna.
Maybe they will. All right. So thank you for that tip, 24. And you're of course going to get a pet code and as well as a 450cc code from BioWare. And if you have a tip of the week, please send it to ootinicast@gmail.com before the next show for a chance to win the same. So let's see. That'll bring us to the Mind Trap. And it was kind of sort of a great minds think alike sort of thing that I'll talk about in a minute. But the question for this week was, which Galactic Seasons companion do you like the most? And so, Altur, Fenzale, Faye, and Amity. And for me, it was Faye. I just think it's the most interesting. I like the different modifications were really well done with the different looks in the belly. The belly animation was different and stuff like that. I just like Faye. Yeah. So that was mine. How about you, Kitty?
I kind of liked Fen.
Okay.
because Duros, I would love to play Duros. I've always been fascinated by them. They're really cool aliens.
That feels like a species that could be added to the game as a playable race.
Sure.
I don't remember them ever saying a reason why they wouldn't be able to do Duros.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, in theory, I know that there's a lot of the reasons why they can't do certain species is because they don't speak basic.
Right.
But you could have some sort of apparatus translator on a character, kind of like Ithorians. You know, when you see them in canon, they have some sort of speech apparatus.
Right.
Just an idea, BioWare. I'm throwing it out there.
Yeah, well, you're in good company. 45% of the votes were for Fenzale, who won. Second was Amity with 21.9%. Just behind Amity was Faye at 20.3%, and Altur was 12.5%. Interestingly, we only got a couple of people who actually wrote back about it, and both of them were pumping up Altur, who took 4th place. And the reason was he's not the coolest, but at least I can change his armor. And that was the same thing that Paul also wrote, Ashia Satur, and then Paul wrote Altur. He's the only one I can change the outfit he wears, which makes sense, because like it's nice to be able to actually make a look for your companion.
It is.
I would say I've not that all 4 of these companions so far speak in various forms of alienese. It will be interesting to see if they ever do like a companion who actually speaks basic, which would be nice. Obviously, they'd have to do it at a time when they were going to do voice actors for other stuff. I presume they're not just going to do it for like one little thing.
But it
would be nice. Yeah, it would be nice.
Yeah, I think it would be great.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny though, and there wasn't a ton of votes, and we do appreciate the ones who did vote and to retweet. Got 64 votes total, which is very, very low. And I found out though that, and I put it in the show notes, that Today and Tor had done a very, very similar poll, like literally hours before we did ours.
Oh crap! You're right.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, I remember it because, it makes sense. It's season 4, so people are, and there's 4 things you can put in a poll on Twitter or Mastodon, and so he did a very similar one, and his results were much the same, even though his question was not specifically about the companions, but about the seasons. So season 1 Altur, season 2 Fenzale, season 3 Faye, season 4 Amity, and they did come in the same order with slightly different percentages and stuff. Awesome. But yeah, Fenzale won that poll with 36% of the vote. Faye took or season 4 Amity 27%, so a lot closer. Faye was further back than it was in our poll at 20.4%, and then season 1 was still 15.9%, so still took 4th as well for Cal. So I just thought it was funny.
That is funny.
Yeah,
Today in Sport's a great follow too, you guys.
Yes, they really are.
Go give them a follow.
Absolutely. And they got some votes. So they got 372 votes, which is a little more mathematically helps to know that it's actually valid at some point.
I put a link in chat so you guys can pop over, give Cal a follow.
Yep. I remember I had suggested this as the companions as the next poll when you and I were chatting about the previous week's poll. Yeah. We had come to the idea, and then I said, well, what about this one for next time? You said, yeah, that's great. So, and we were all set, but then of course, then he aced us out by 4 hours or something.
That's funny. Great minds think alike, right?
So that was awesome. So anyway, it's interesting to see that the polls, kind of ended up saying more or less the same thing too.
Yeah.
All right. And then let's get to the holo feed. Let's see. So, let's see. Right, there is a known bug with the Mechshaw Stronghold, so I just wanted to mention it. This is not the same as the Hook one that we talked about last time. For some people, at least, Mechshaw Safe House is sometimes not being unlocked in the Legacy tab. So for some people, they're having trouble seeing it, in characters who didn't, other than the character who actually bought it. So, however, they said the travel to the stronghold is still possible in any character, even if the icon is shown as locked. So you should be able to travel there, even if it's showing as locked. So they're saying that it's more of a visual bug than it is like a functional bug. So if you find different, of course, let them know. But yeah, it might show as locked, but you should be able to still go there. So there we go. The Shea Vizsla test server, which is the cloud server test server, and it's also the APAC server, is now closed. They've talked about how they're gonna look at all the details and see what they can learn about that.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what changes they make and what servers they might open and stuff like that for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. There is and I mentioned this one mostly because it's something that I've talked about before, because I actually got the achievement a while ago just to have the glowy item. So you go, this is the one from Dantooine.
Oh,
it's
right.
called Yarvok's Gratitude. And basically you do this thing a whole bunch of times. It costs a lot of credits. But you can, in fact, get it. And then you can get it on every character as long as you happen to go to Dantooine and talk to the vendor. And you can basically get it, I think, for free, or maybe it's for 1 credit, whatever.
I think it's 1 credit.
Yeah, basically, almost free. But it's intended that the Yarvok Gratitude, which basically just puts your character makes them have a big glowy effect on them.
Yeah.
And apparently it's not meant to be used in PvP areas. So they're looking into the tooltip to mirror the information. Basically, it's a visibility issue where it's like, it's not working, but that's how it's supposed to be. But they're going to add it to the tooltip so that people know that it's not supposed to be able to be used in war zones. So, yeah. It makes sense. Yeah.
Now, talk about a giant target on your back.
Yeah, I know. I guess there might be times when you would want to be glowy like that, or maybe the glow, or maybe the glow would like prevent them from noticing other buffs on you. Like if you had your reflectability, maybe it'd be a little harder to see it because of the glowing, because it is a pretty serious glow that you get when you have it. But anyway, so yeah, they're probably going to just update the tooltip because it looks like that's actually what's intended. All right, the 7.2.1b patch is out, came out yesterday, and let's see. So special characters are now correctly copied when transferring a character from the website. We talked about that one before, so that apparently is fixed. Let's see. The strategic assault speeder is no longer invisible. I always love bug
I do too.
Or fix notices like that. Yeah. Let's see.
Original map riding around invisible.
Yeah, original map Hutball is now counting towards PvP season objectives as intended, so that's a pretty good one.
That's big.
Yep, that's one that actually affected me a little while ago. It's nice to know it's fixed. I mean, it wasn't the end of the world, but it was, but it did throw things off. Fixed several floor issues in the Eternity Vault operation. Eternity Vault, the the operation that keeps on giving when it comes to bugs that they have to fix. They even, the devs have even talked about that before, how like no matter how many bugs they fix in Eternity Vault, there's always more. Sometimes it's the final boss with Soa with all the floors and Soa having to move around. That's a big one. But also sometimes it's like the puzzle boss has had issues and all kinds of other things.
It is really,
and it's a really amazing operation.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, in some ways, it's almost too bad that it was the first one because it's it's relatively simple. Like. They do buff it up and make it sort of semi-relevant again in terms of difficulty, but it's still a relatively easy one. Let's see. The environment no longer disappears when moving the camera in Balmoran Arms Factory on Balmora. That's good.
That's good.
Let's see.
I had this one fixed missing environment in the following location: walls during chapter 15 Gemini Deception.
Oh, okay.
I had that happen. You're basically on the ship, and some of the walls were just transparent, which looked really cool because you could see the 3D mapping.
Yeah. Like you could see like the stuff underneath, like some of the bones
you could see,
of the game.
Like,
basically.
Oh, here we go. That's where that thing goes to, and
right.
It was
that's actually kind of cool. That would have been fun to see.
It was kind of cool.
And then could you sometimes see like the background? Like sometimes when things disappear, you get to see like in this case it'd be the stars or whatever.
Yeah, it was like it was space.
Yeah.
Except for places where you could walk.
That's cool.
Which, like I said, you could see.
Did it make it hard to get around him?
Ramp. No, not at all. It was very, very.
It was still pretty easy to tell like where the hallways were and stuff.
Exactly.
That's good.
Yeah, you could tell where you're going. It just was obvious that things were missing.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. And Trees and Rishi Stronghold apparently were doing some of the same things. They did change how the level of texture detail is chosen to reduce flickering effect on certain systems. Cool. So apparently, because there was some bugs that we talked about not too long ago, that was regarding this sort of detail. Fix the flickering shadow textures on characters in Osis Imperial Base. And then eligible players who achieve the requirements on the Shea Vizsla test server will receive the Opal Velptil amount in their in-game message when it launches. So it should be there now. Basically, it's one of those mail-in ones. So it should be on every character, and you just open it up and get the mount, which is pretty cool. All right. Speaking of patches and updates, well, 7.3 is now coming. We now know. I mean, obviously something was coming soon, but now we know it's 7.3. And when you see, the way they have things set up, when you see a 0.2 change to a 0.3, you know that involves a story. That's how they've designed it. When it's like this last one, 7.2.1b, that doesn't involve any story because it went, it didn't change the digit after sort of the ones place. 7 is where we are in terms of expansions, 0.1, 0.2, and that sort of thing. Whenever it goes from a 0.1 to a 0.2 to a 0.3, you're going to see story. So there's going to be story incoming, which is great. And Jackie wrote, "Hey everyone, I'm here to provide you with some information regarding our next large game update. In the coming months, we'll be deploying game update 7.3. Before we get there, we'll be releasing information regarding some intended changes surrounding class balances and the credit economy initiative that will be coming with this update. We'd like your feedback on these changes way before they're reflected on the public test server when it's open. Here's a short timeline on when to expect information to be released regarding 7.3. They'll be publishing the class balance changes later today, and we do have that in the show notes. And then Jackie said, I'll be publishing a post that covers the expected economic credit changes coming with 7.3 in the following week, so we don't have that one yet. Of course, with an announcement like another game update is coming soon, that means a live stream is around the corner. Happy to say we'll be hosting a live stream on May 3rd, 1 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. UTC. So that is a week and a day from the day that we're recording this. So it's a Thursday, for Thursday, May 3rd, 1 p.m. Central. And they'll be talking about more of the story elements and other content that'll be coming with the update. And she has invited a few other devs to join, so we can hear from more voices on the team. Always fun. Following the live stream, they'll be opening up the public test server. So we know that the public test server is not coming at least till May the 3rd. The exact date is to be determined, but we'll announce when the PTS is open on all the official channels when we can. That's all for now. Keep an eye on the Dev Tracker and our social channels to let you stay in the know for other announcements. Very cool.
Very cool. I can't wait.
Yeah, so obviously we'll know a lot more on the next show, because it'll be just a few days after that May 3rd dev stream. So looking forward to that. It's actually not a bad time frame for us, because a lot of times when they do a dev stream, it's great if our stream happened to be, our show happened to be the same day. But a lot of times what'll happen is when they announce something, they'll do clarifications or little bits of extra, information just to clarify or whatever. And that often happens like just a day or two after. So it's kind of good that this timing wise, this actually works out pretty well, I think, for our show.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty excited about that, because that way, it'll be enough days past that we'll be able to kind of really boil it all down at that point. So let's see. And Shabir Dillon did put up the balance changes that are expected to be tested. So PowerTech Vanguard adjusted timing of some ability grants, and you'll see this one a lot. Adjusted the timing of some ability grants to smooth out the leveling process. In other words, they felt like sometimes abilities were coming too quickly, and sometimes there just wasn't anything for too long. So they're moving some of those around. Stealth Scan has been redesigned and renamed Terminator Droid. In addition to revealing stealth enemies, it slows them and decreases their accuracy.
Whoa!
That's pretty cool, because
Yeah.
I never take, even on a PvP character, I just won't take that.
Yeah, I mean,
not stealth scan anyway. Now, Terminator droid, maybe. Because like not only will it reveal them, which is important, like a lot of the stealth classes, if they don't get to start from stealth, they have a significant disadvantage. So there was a benefit to that already. But also slowing them and decreasing their accuracy might be really nice.
Oof,
Neural
that's
trigger
rough.
tactical now roots the target instead of stuns. That's interesting. I think that's the one where I think it happens a lot because I think it's tied to your like your interrupt or your taunt, something that has a fairly short cooldown. So they didn't want to take it away completely, so they changed it to a root instead of a stun. So if you're rooted, you can't move, but you can still use abilities and auto attacks and stuff like that whenever they're in range. Also, with roots, there's a lot more things that will actually clear a root that won't clear a stun. Like if you're stunned, most abilities you can't use, so you can't really clear it. But if you have a root, there's a lot of classes, like force speed, and there's a bunch of other abilities that will actually clear a root where they wouldn't clear an actual stun. So they're trying to balance that one. I think that's mostly a PvP thing, but yeah, pretty cool. Definitely a nerf, by the way. Like, not cool if you've been using this and really enjoying getting these extra stuns in. Advanced prototype and tactics. Prototype rail high friction bolts now restore 6 heat when their effect is triggered, up from 5. 1 heat out of 100 is not huge, but it's still a buff. Energized blade tactical has been redesigned and renamed Energized Vambrace, and it does the following. Gaining an energy load stack increases the damage on retractable blades or guts bleed, and increases the damage of rail shot, which is also high impact round, magnetic blast, tactical surge, and energy burst and cell burst by 5% for 10 seconds. Stacks up to 4 times. So up to 20% more damage on a bunch of important abilities. Fairly cool.
Wow.
Let's see. And then Mercenary Commando, again, adjusting the timing of some ability grants while you're leveling. If you're someone who only does one character and just doesn't care about alts or whatever, that won't affect you. Hunter Killer Droid, blah 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 blah, and then it does the same thing on the other side. Arsenal and Gunnery. Supercharged gas and supercharged cells has been renamed to High Velocity supercharged gas and high velocity supercharged cells. This is for, again, Arsenal and Gunnery. Duration of high velocity supercharged gas and high velocity supercharged cells has been increased by 4 seconds. Let's see. Bodyguard and Combat Medic supercharged gas has been renamed to supercharged Colto gas. So I'm not sure exactly what they're doing there. I mean, maybe it's just for clarification. I'm also wondering, though, there's some abilities that like are dependent on using, supercharged cells or supercharged gas. So maybe this allows them to break those out so that it's not, causing so many procs or something. Maybe, in which case, if that's the case, then that would be a nerf. But I'm not sure how much that's the case. I guess we'll find out.
I can never remember the names of all this stuff anyway.
There's a lot of abilities.
Like, and as soon as I do, they do this.
Okay. Sniper and Gunslinger. Reestablish range / reset engagement is now granted at level 43 for all snipers and gunslingers, and the knockback effect has been removed. Okay.
Oh, no.
So this is the one that had a knockback. I wonder if they're going to add it somewhere else. Reestablish range. Reset re-engagement has been replaced by Vital Regulators Cool Under Pressure as the level 64 choice on the ability tree for all snipers. Interesting. Okay. Vital Regulators Cool Under Pressure heals for 2% total health while in cover. I think it used to be 1%, right? So I think it's 1% while you're in cover every second, something like that. So now it's 2%, which
I
is
don't remember.
Pretty fast. That's like a pretty good heal at that point.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see. For marksmanship and sharpshooter, targeted ambush and hotshot now trigger from killing an enemy within 3 seconds of damaging them with ambush or aim shot. That's really cool because actually I've been I did a little bit, something I didn't mention from my week is I guess it would have been last Friday. I did a little duo thing with Meltza, and I was using a marksmanship character, and yeah, targeted ambush is a little tricky to use because you have to actually kill them with the critting ambush. And and it gets, and it's very tricky because if you don't actually kill them with that ability, it doesn't actually get the reset. Now it triggers from killing an enemy within 3 seconds of damage with that. So if you don't actually manage to kill them with it, you still have 2 globals, 3 seconds. So 2 globals to actually finish them off. So that seems like it'll be a lot easier to deal with. I mean, it's kind of a quality of life thing in some ways, but it feels like it's going to actually be kind of nice too. Like, because I was definitely like kind of avoiding using the ability and trying not to use like, ambush unless I could actually get the proc. But then if for some reason it missed or didn't quite kill them, it was like, it felt really bad. And it's like, okay, now it's be like, okay, if I didn't quite kill them, well, I've got 2 more globals to finish them off and get the reset anyway, which is nice. So I think that's actually going to be, cool. I think that's going to be potentially a nice little buff in addition to just being a quality of life thing. Virulence and Dirty Fighting. Corrosive Refund / Scrounging has been redesigned. It now causes Corrosive Grenade or Shrap Bomb to refund 2 energy each time it ticks. I don't remember I can't remember how that changes from what it does now, but I don't think it's that different. I think in either case, you're getting energy back. So yeah, Corrosive Refund. Yeah, I think anyway. So anyway, 2 energy each time it ticks, which is quite a bit because Corrosive Grenade is, automatically spread, and then Shrap, and so if you're assuming you're hitting on more than one person, you're going to get lots of energy back. All right. Let me get a little water here.
Sippy, sippy.
For medicine and Sawbones, let's see. The Sawbone Scoundrel's version of Tactical Overdrive / Hot Streak now grants interrupt immunity while it's active. So that's cool. So Tactical Overdrive or Hot Streak now grants interrupt immunity. Lethality and Ruffian, which is the DOT version. Corrosive Return, Brutal Return no longer extends the duration of Stim Boost or Pugnacity by 5 seconds. I remember this one because it's on my main spec. It does several things, and one of the things it does is actually boosts Pugnacity by 5 seconds. Now it just doesn't do that, but it still does like 2 other things. The Viral Element's Tactical no longer causes Lethal Strike / Point Blank Shot to hit the primary target twice. That feels more like a bug fix.
Yeah.
But, I remember there was like a few patches ago, like this sort of word came up on like tons of abilities where like apparently a lot of things were hitting twice where they weren't meant to. I don't know if this one was not a bug, but maybe they just are removing it anyway. Let's see, Concealment and Scrapper, which is the backstab spec. The best defense mod's lifesteal effect has been improved. It doesn't say by how much, but apparently it has. If I remember correctly, it was it's like basically that one ability that it's the one it's a stab and it grabs your upper hand, and it has about like a 6, 7, 8 second cooldown, something like that. I think it's like 6. And it basically did some chunk of whatever damage it did, and maybe it was even 100%, but it never felt like that much healing really. So apparently it's been improved. Let's see, Assassin Shadow, Hatred and Serenity. This is the DOT one then. Reduce the damage bonus given from Inevitable Demise / Aching Mind from 30% to 25%. And this is a bonus that's up a lot, if I remember correctly. The last time I was in this spec, it felt like you could keep that buff up pretty easily. So, yeah, they decided it needed a nerf. Deception and Infiltration. Increase the damage bonus given by Executioner / Judgment while an opponent is below 30% max health from 3% to 5%.
Oh.
So that's nice. So it's a little bit more of a, more damage when they're low. Madness Balance. Let's see. Dark Echo / Resonating Pulses chance to reapply Death Brands or Shifted Balances slow has been reduced to 30%. Don't know what the current one is, but that's interesting. Vitiate's Malice / Warden's Vigor. The lifesteal on Force Lightning and TK throw has been reduced to 15% down from 20% of damage. So, again, a little bit, a little too much on the self-heals, apparently, they feel, for some of these specs. Let's see. Lightning and TK. Increase the Stormwatch Tactical's duration to 15 seconds, up from 10. I'm trying to remember what that one does.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I think it's a pretty common one to use, though. Yeah. I don't remember it being that hard to keep up, so maybe it's just sort of a quality of life thing again, more than it is an actual buff. Increase the damage from halted offensive or power of the force by 7%. But I don't remember what that one does either. Sorry. I'm not sure about that one at all. Increase the damage of halted offensive / power of the force by 7%. Anyway, a nice buff for Lightning TK there for sure. For Annihilation, Marauder Sentinel, Annihilation, the focus or rage generation of Bloodlust / Burning Focus has been modified and now reads your direct damage attacks that hit a bleeding or burning target build 1 rage or focus. This effect cannot occur more than once every 3 seconds. The rest of the passive's effect remains the same. Okay. So I think it could have happened pretty much every global. Now it's every 2 globals, essentially. Maybe even slightly less than that if you have enough alacrity. So that's probably going to be a fairly serious nerf. It feels like anyway, but we'll see. Looking forward to reading your feedback, Shabir says, and checking out the changes when the PTS is open. I'll make any follow-up posts as needed. Then there's a whole list of SWTOR Galactic Season objectives, and so they have all the lists. It's on SWTOR, or you can, if you have access to our show notes, and then it's here as well. So you can sort of, if you want to plan your weeks ahead of time. Generally speaking, once the week starts, I'm usually good with just looking at them at that point and figuring out my week at that point. But yeah, you can kind of see like which ones are coming and that sort of thing. Like always, though, the 200,000 legacy points are always there. The dailies are always there. So pretty easy to get a fair amount of stuff done just by that. Let's see. So in-game events for May just dropped, fortunately, right today, shortly before the show.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Cool.
Yeah. So we now know there's going to be 3 of them in May. So Bounty Contract Week is coming back starting May 2nd, so next Tuesday through the May the 9th. And this is the one where the Bounty Brokers Association has opened its doors to take out for anyone willing to take on their dangerous contracts. And yeah, actually, there's some really good stuff there. In fact, I started doing it, a little while ago because there was actually some things I wanted to get, and I'll have to do some more for sure.
Yeah, I just spent all of my currency getting that pink dye.
That's what I got too.
Recipe.
Yeah. There's another dye that I have to get, so that's why I'm gonna I'll probably try to do some more of that. It literally took all the bounty contracts I had ever done for that event from the start of the game through last Bounty Contract Week because I had done so little of it. I just done 50? Little. Yeah, it's like 50. Yeah. So I'd only done 50 out of all these years because I just haven't done that much with them. But I'm going to do more now because I want the other die for sure. And there are some fun things. Like if you want a bowcaster, it's one of the easier ways to get a bowcaster.
Cool bowcaster.
There's a couple of nice armor sets. There's some pets, stuff like that.
Yeah, some of my favorite armor sets.
Yeah.
Some of those bounty hunter armor sets are really, really cool looking.
They're nice ones too. Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're very nice ones.
They die really well.
Yep. And then in mid-month from May the 16th to May the 23rd, the swoop rally is coming back. And if you're level 20 or over, you can do the swoop gang, join a swoop gang. There's reputations to get. There's mini pets, mounts as you'd expect. There's the little tactical that can make you make you mount up, go faster and stuff like that. Good stuff. And then the rat ghouls will be coming back at the end of the month, May the 30th through the June the 6th of. So that's right at the end of May. And that one is the rat ghoul on Alderaan. So this time it's coming back to Alderaan. So yep. And usually usually the guild is doing the Operation 1 for the Jar Jar Joyride on that week. So we can pretty much expect that. And
every time that there's a rat ghoul event, the Loken event will be happening too. So
Lokens, that'll be fun.
Get your Lokens.
Yeah, exactly. We've got all the Lokens together. That'll be fun to do that too. Is it going to be on a Saturday again? Is that usually when you do it?
We'll always run it on a Saturday.
On a Saturday. Okay, cool. We'll plan on that then. All right, and let's see. That'll bring us to the force feedback, and we got something from Lord Meltza. And he says, I found out the Scourge literally has no body textures, only head textures. And he sent me a picture, and then I kind of clarified it, and yeah, it's true. Basically, any armor that he can wear that normally shows skin, he doesn't have any texture, so it's just like gray. He looks like he has he still has this red face, of course, and then he has like dead gray nothing skin like everywhere else.
There's a couple companions that's the case.
Yeah, so Scourge is one of them for sure.
Looks like he's wearing a bra.
Yes, so this is that one. There's one that's very similar. It's Lord Scion's armor, and this is like another one. And yeah, it's a little bra-like on him. I think, and he even mentioned it's with armor that has female variants, especially. So, but I also looked on some armor that just can be, that's just the same on both male and female. And pretty much any time I could show skin, it would show this sort of gray skin underneath. So yeah, body texture is not really there.
No, it's not.
Let's see. And oh yeah, there was a little bit that was not part of the force feedback, but it was just sort of some known bugs. And because there's one I wanted to mention here at the end. So black screen since 7.2.1b, and it impacts players using colorblind mode. So what's happening in 7.2.1b, apparently for players using colorblind mode, sometimes just making the entire screen blank.
Yowza.
So they have like a whole thing, and you can find this on SWTOR.com, but basically because of that, because the whole screen is blank, you can't actually fix it inside the game, right? Because you can't see anything. Right. There's nothing to see, so how the heck are you going to click on the right menus or whatever you can't see anything? So there is a way to turn off the colorblind mode using other ways. So basically, you close the game, you open the Windows Run command, which is always a thrill. Yeah. You run C users, your username, app data, local, SWTOR/SWTOR/settings. You open the file with your account name using a text editor. You change the line about colorblind mode to graphics_colorblind mode equals 1. Save the file and restart the game. So basically, you're forcing it to turn off that way. And it's a little hard to just do that via talking. So I do recommend you actually look up the the actual way to do it if you're going to try that. But that's just to give you an idea of how to do it if you're wondering why you're colorblind mode. Now, unfortunately, this also does turn off colorblind mode because that's the only way to fix it right now. They know about the bug. They're working on the bug. Unfortunately, if you are colorblind and you really like to have colorblind mode on, it's going to, that's not good because it means you're not going to have colorblind mode for a while.
I'm also
but there's always a way to at least get the game going for you in the meantime.
I'm wondering if there's a way that you could fix it on the launcher. Do you know if colorblind mode actually persists at the launcher?
I don't
because
know.
You can go into your settings there, and I think you can go into your graphics settings via the launcher. You might be able to fix it there. I'm not sure if that's something that you can do or if it'll work, but check it out if you're having that problem. You might be able to save yourself a little headache from going into the run command.
Okay. Yeah, so I wanted to make sure we mentioned that one as well. Yeah. Anything else going on, Kitty? You have any big streams coming up or anything like that?
Yes, we are going to be doing a big 4th of July.
Well,
May the 4th stream with Kitty and myself.
Much better.
We're going to be doing some cosplay ourselves. We're going to be doing some charity stream, which the charity will be announced in the near future.
Very nice.
And we're going to be not only streaming SWTOR, but we're also going to be streaming the new Jedi Survivor
nice
game. So
you get to try that one out too. That'll be fun.
There's going to be some giveaways, and come check it out. It's going to be really fun.
That'll be awesome. Is that going to be kind of like a longer stream, like an all-day stream or something like that?
No, we're probably going to just do like our regular 8-hour stream.
Okay, well, that's still plenty.
Yeah, I know, 8 hours. Just 8 hours, regular,
just a normal.
8 hours. Yeah, yeah. Also, if you're interested, Kitty Treats is doing a watch party, and it's on our Discord.
Okay.
And that's going to be this Friday.
To watch what?
What are we watching? Babe? Friday night. What's the movie? Nope. It's called Nope. Sci-fi thriller.
Okay. Cool.
I'll probably be asleep, but she's fun.
She's excellent. All right, then. Anything else?
Nope, that is it, Jill.
Excellent. Then that's a show. If you'd like to play with us in the Utini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Satele Shan server, or in our Utini Raid Guild on the Empire side, do a /C join Utini to join the Utini channel. Then let us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to Ootinicast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter using @Ootinicast or Mastodon @Ootinicast@mastodon.world. You can find contact details for us on our website, Ootinicast.com, which includes how to subscribe using iTunes, Stitcher, and the rest. We record the show live bi-weekly on Tuesdays, usually 4 p.m. Pacific, by streaming at twitch.tv/Ootinicast. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby. And thank you to the chat room.
Hey, chat.
And we'll see you next show.
All right, I'm looking for someone for us to raid, and I'm going to put it in chat right there.
Okay. Hang on. Let's see. Is this in Discord chat? Oh, Discord, Twitch chat. Okay. Hang on a sec. I can get there, but I got to get back to it because I have to.
Okay.
All right. Apodius. Okay.
And thanks, everybody.
All right. We'll start the raid. Thank you for coming, everyone. And yeah, let's see. So is Apodius, is that someone you've checked out before then, Kitty?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have a Ootinicast follow them when we raid them. Here we go. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
All right. So let me go over there real quick. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream, stop the recording.